Hello. Hi. Thanks for joining. If you're here already, if you pop in, that's also cool. I am going to carry on working on Gitstore v2 tonight. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail like I did at the beginning of yesterday's stream, because you can go and watch the VOD for that, or check it out on YouTube, and you can get that background. But this is where we left off in terms of content. Hold on, let me get chat up here just so I don't forget to check it. Okay, so this is where we left off in terms of content yesterday. Some things we still wanted to work on, some little to-do things. I'm going to shift these down here. Ooh. I'm going to shift those down here because then I can focus on these things first. But right off the bat, I have been trying to deploy this. Well, I tried to deploy this after yesterday's stream, and what I noticed was that my server is running 7.3 and my local environment's running 7.4. So the array destructuring that I'm doing here, or combining that I'm doing here, doesn't actually work on the live server. So the very first thing is that I want to remove array destructuring combining, because I want this to work on the live server without having to provision a new server that's PHP 7.4. So that's the very first thing I'm going to start off with. I was doing a little bit of coding in the last sort of 5-ish minutes before here, relating to this option here. So we'll test it as well, and if it's working, then I'll consider that done. For now, I just want to make sure that things are running. So let me open this up and do a new tab. Oh, not in that window, in this one. Okay, so this is our app. Let's go through it and see if this is still working. No. Okay, so I'm using casters to implement encoding and decoding now, and these methods, these functions, are doing the majority of the work. It's JSON encode and base64 encode. So I shouldn't have the same comma issues that I had yesterday that I lodged a ticket for. But I kind of prefer to wrap them in this caster, because maybe down the line I'd like to hydrate these as eloquent objects, and there are interesting things that I could do then. But for now, it's just going to be a way to get a value hydrated from that base64 data that goes to the template back into an associative array, and to put it into that base64 state again. However, I implemented this interface, but I'm not importing that anyway, so it doesn't know what I'm talking about, and I forget what the reference is for that, and it's not really well documented. Maybe that's the thing I should do, actually, okay, so it's just Livewire castable. Maybe I should do a pull request to, I'm going to do that actually, but first I'll do it here, Livewire that. Oof. What's the point of copying it if I'm not going to paste it? Hey, that's pretty weird. Okay. Error! App HTTP Livewire component. So another thing I did was that I had a base component that was doing a tiny bit of UTF-8 stuff. And I removed that base component because I realized I didn't actually need it anymore. But what that has done is, I think there's some kind of class resolution issue that's now going on, where it doesn't know where a base component is. Here it is. I think it's the upload class that was doing it. Okay, so let's flush, build a mailing list, free, add an option. Great. So now I should be able to add this comma that I was having a problem with yesterday. It is the build a mailing list workflow. No. Sell theme. No. Sell app. No. Get subscribers. When I put commas in here yesterday, this was breaking because JSON encode alone wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So if I go back to get subscribers now, I have the same issue again. What is with that? Let me flush and see if it's just a flush related thing. No, it's the same thing. How is this data being passed in here then? Is it being cast at all? No, that's not being cast. Hmm. So that's an interesting thing. Even though I'm using the caster, which is going to persist plans in this array. So in other words, I can take this out and this. And that should still be functional. However, the comma is still throwing this off. And that is because, I think, that is because if I am in customized plans, I'm just doing a JSON encode here. What if I change this to the encode thing? And I do a similar thing here, encode. And then in the wizard, instead of using JSON decode, I just do my normal decode thing, because then it's base64 data, right? Oh, I have to spell it right though. Decode. So there. And then I can also change this algorithm if I want to do some kind of compression or something. Oh, by the way, my window's open, so you're likely to hear noises. I don't usually stream with it open, but in this case I wanted some fresh air. So this is the plan data that is encoded now, which correctly gets decoded in the container component. So that's working nicely now, sort of. I wonder what this down here, because I want to keep this code. I'm liking that this is up here. Okay, so remove destructuring. So far it looks like it's working in the capacity it was working yesterday. So I want to go through these and I want to remove the destructuring. Now, the way that this is happening is that I've got one default plan that's happening in my abstract workflow. It's the plan that's going to show on every page, and it's an upsell to pay for premium features on the new version. It's one of the upsells we're looking at doing, and hopefully non-obtrusive. But this gets provided in all of these workflows, or used in all of these workflows. And what I was doing yesterday was getting that default thing, defining my own custom ones in the order that they're supposed to appear, and then appending the defaults at the end there. Now, this syntax is 7.4 only, and I loved using it yesterday, and I can't use it anymore because I don't want to re-provision my server. So, array merge. And this takes this can go in here. This format's fine. In fact, I'm not really reusing that variable, so I can even do this. Makes it a little bit cleaner, I think. Okay, but now I have to do this change everywhere that the plans are used. So let me do it there, let me do it there. I don't think I got through defining all the plans for these things. Ooh. So I'll only put it where the plans are used so far, and then we must define the rest of them tonight, I guess, if there's time. Like that. Let me delete that. And like that. Let me delete that. Okay, so we should have accept donations does emerge, build mailing list does emerge, get subscribers does emerge. So let's have a look what these three look like. Build a mailing list has the two options that you can select. What is the other one? Accept donations has the three options that you can select, and these survive refresh. And get subscribers has the three options, they survive refresh. Cool, so this is done. Let's flush and select the type. I mean, this type selection is actually working with the encode and decode, so that's fine. And that's cool. Which basically means this is also done. Let me add an item in here, which is add default plans to remaining workflows. Hey Jason, I'm trying to make them regular streams. We'll see how well that works. It's the plan anyway. So We're going to pull some more plans in here. Share code doesn't get plans, although share code should get plans. All of these should get plans because all of them should allow you to upload. All of them should allow you to upload, so this should get plans, but it's probably just going to be the accept donations, no, not that, the build a mailing list free plan. Yeah, I should have actually copied this one. So share code, build a mailing list is you give code out and you get people's email addresses in. Share code is just a marketing page for something that you want to give away. Maybe that you want to style nicely, or that you want to host without using GitHub pages or making a dedicated site for it. This is a way to do that. So it's not for email, it's just things you give away. We can adjust this wording. I mean, this is really Jason's job, is to adjust this wording. Yeah, Jason. I got a new follow on Twitch. When was this? Like 8 minutes ago, and I can't pronounce it. J-Lordev, I guess. Welcome. I really wish I had a nicer way of seeing this. Is it monitor? Restream's really giving me a hard time with this because I can't see nice social alerts for this. Maybe what I can open for this is stream elements. So one day when I get my act together and I have proper alerts and everything, then this is what I will. Oof, not there. Then this is what I will use to show those things. But for now, I don't have. Come on. Oh, it's bleeding over the edge here as well. That's so annoying. Log in. Oh, I could have just clicked on that Twitch thing, I guess. Yeah, cool. You do it when load shedding ends, buddy. That's cool. Okay, well, I guess I'll go back to the desktop for that, or the dashboard for that. And then is there like a, oh, okay, there we go. And also, if you hear Cat Loving Coder, thanks for following earlier. Yeah, getting a bit busy. Okay, so what did we want to do? These are plans. Oh, go away, mail app. These are plans for just sharing code in exchange for nothing. Sell theme. So this it's like a similar flow to get subscribers. It's actually not. I mean, it's just a one-time payment, I think. But what's nice about this is that we could do as is. So maybe like that. As is. Price, what would we suggest for this? Something like, let's suggest $20. Interval once, and you can adjust price and currency. That's fine. But then maybe something like, oh, you know what I haven't been thinking about in these workflows is the ability to have a high once-off fee and a low recurring fee following that. Okay, I'm not going to think about that now. As is, with support, support. I've been watching scam betas on Twitch, and it's the funniest thing. I mean, it's sad because a lot of people, I guess, get taken in by it, but it is the funniest thing to see scammers get baited and like go through the motions and think that whoever's on the line is so stupid. and usually they're calling from Google support or Microsoft because your account's about to be shut down or some garbage script. Okay, with maintenance and support, or just with support. I'll say it. I'll include maintenance there. Pay once, get help when you need it. Now this will obviously be limited by the terms of the seller, and I'm not really sure how we want to do that. Maybe we want to have a little terms block that the sellers can add in their settings for this plan, or just a link to where those terms are so people can go there and read them. But this will be something like, if we make this 25 and we make this like 50. Cool. So it's still a once-off thing, it's just slightly more money, and if there are support questions, then they get answered quicker, I guess. These will be customizable though, because we've got this in can change, so people can add a bit more of a thing onto that. Sell app actually follows a very similar structure to this. I wonder if these should be two different types or if they should just be one. Maybe we okay, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. So it is again pay once, get your code. Pay once will help you set it up. Same IDs, same idea behind here, but this would be a much higher amount. So like $100 and $200, or 100 and 175. I don't know, whatever, something like that. It sounds too high. That sounds too high. Okay, that is kind of, I think that's kind of better. So we'll make a simple app for you. Offer it with more support, and obviously this will be differ from project to project. The freelancer will define what these prices are and what this currency is, but these are again once-off things. Yeah, maybe I'll change this, so not with support but with setup, just to make it a little bit clearer. The idea with doing these default plans is for people to set up their marketing pages and to have an idea about what the plans are supposed to look like for their different use case. So it's not, these aren't the final things, and they're not supposed to be the final things, but they're supposed to be really good suggestions as default that can then be customized. So sell my app now has these things. Whee! I also want to change these things to just the code, because that's really what this is. As is makes it sound like maybe it's dodgy. Just the code. So that, and the theme as well. Okay, I need a flash because these things are stored in the session. So sell your app, just the code with setup. Oh, this is not good. Why? Customize plans. Description needs to be literal. Very good, very good. If you're curious, this font is Inter, as requested by Sean, our great UX expert on the team. Seller team also has just the code and with support. Oh, sell app is actually with setup, not with support. And then share your code is just free. Mailing list is free. Cool. I think those are cool. So I have defined the extra tasks, and I can do that over here. I want to make a PR. Yeah, Oh, that's weird. Cool. So I want to make a PR to Livewire just to add the castable thing in there. So I'm going to do that straight from the Git interface, if GitHub interface, if that's possible. Livewire. And then let me find the caster use over there. And then where will this be? Where will this be? Maybe it's in the org docs. Okay. Where will this be? Computed properties, I think, is where this is. I was wrong. State management. Casting. There we go. Okay. So I'll do just from here. There we go. Where does this go on to? What are the other branches here? Oh, there's only one. That's fantastic. Okay, so hopefully that makes it a bit easier for folks to implement their custom castable. Yeah. Because then they don't have to, like I did, have to dive into vendor. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Okay, but I can make this a little bit smaller now, again. So, these options are all working, yay! And I've done the PR, so I can mark that off. I know these are small tasks that I'm adding here and immediately marking off, but it just helps me keep track of what I'm achieving in the stream, which makes me feel better about what I'm able to get done in the hour. Let's check if everything is still going good with the frame. I see I dropped some frames, but not a lot. Maybe 5 seconds worth. Over half an hour. It's not much. Oh, this window. Okay, so split GitHub and Bitbucket repo selection. I have some auth stuff that manages Bitbucket and GitHub. Where does this take someone when they have... Okay, so it redirects them back to the wizard, and the wizard remembers where you are in the process, and that's how you can auth out to GitHub and come back to the step that you are on. Really cool. That's working nicely. And these also do 2 different levels. So, so I set the session before I redirect here, I think. Let's see what happens here. Where is this? Oh. Where is this view? Select repos. I have 2 links here. So if you are logged in or authenticated, and you're authenticated with an elevated token, what? Oh, unless. So if you're not logged in and you don't have an authenticated token. I mean, this is very confusing. Using unless here is actually a little bit confusing to me, because if you read this as an if you're logged in and you have a token, okay, now flip that around. So it's actually the same as saying this, but if. So you shouldn't use or here is my point, but it's confusing. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about now. If you're not logged in and you don't have an authenticated token, then show the redirect to GitHub with elevated 1. Okay. Now this says over here, work out the scopes. Remember, this is an elevated request, and then use Socialite to go to GitHub. But if it's not elevated, then just use the normal scopes. Use the email. So the idea here is that we want to, in version 2, we want to have, or we don't want to have email-based accounts because turns out they're a pain. We want to have social-only accounts, which includes Bitbucket and GitHub. I think we're adding Twitter to that list. But it means if you want to sell stuff, then you're going to have to log in with GitHub or Bitbucket or Twitter. And when someone logs in with those, we don't want to ask them for the full range of permissions we'll ever use for Gitstore, because that's really daunting. If you want to just log in and see what the admin looks like, for example, we don't want to be asking for private repo access at that point. But if someone wants to start selling, then we're going to need some extra permissions. Like, can we see private repos? Can we add webhooks and so forth? And in that case, we'll need to ask for a separate set of scopes. So we store two different OAuth keys or tokens. The one is for just ordinary login, and the other is for elevated permissions to be able to do admin stuff. And if you get to the page where you start to select repos to upload, then we need to ask for the elevated ones, which is why we have that check for elevated GitHub and elevated Bitbucket. Now this task that I have now, these are all in one thing. The task that I have now is to split them so that there is a GitHub tab that just has the UI for GitHub and the repos for GitHub, and a Bitbucket tab that just has the UI and the repos for Bitbucket. So it's splitting these things. It means I need to create a couple new components and move code around in different components. So artisan. If I don't get that whole thing right the first time, I never get it right. Okay, artisan make Livewire select GitHub repositories, which will make a couple things, and select Bitbucket repositories. Okay. Okay, so in this component, I have just an array of selected repositories. I'm gonna actually need to split this in the container, not just to be repositories, but to be on select GitHub repository and on select Bitbucket repository, so that I can maintain two separate lists of those and not have to filter every time or map every time I need to show them distinctly. So on select GitHub repository. Remember yesterday I started wanting to prefix these things, so I'm going to say show wizard GitHub repositories is the session store for that. Oh, not that. Has selected GitHub repositories. I can just leave that as is. And then checked is the checkbox next to each repository, so that's fine as well. Okay, so now I need to change this so that has selected GitHub repositories and GitHub repositories, and show wizard is the prefix on both of these things. And this is changed to GitHub repositories, and this is a lot of state here, which I'm not too thrilled about, but it is what it is for the moment. Which is the worst thing to say. It is what it is. I'm not changing it right now. I want the container component to maintain these things, but maybe I can extract this part of it into a different method or a cleaner method. Okay, so I need to replace these things in here. Yeah, so there's that one, copy these things in here. Do you like the background music? It's from Destiny 2. I love it. Okay, so select GitHub repositories. Now I need to make a copy of a lot of this logic. Boop. To go in here. render should take that away. This is selected repositories. Oh, shush cat. This is available repositories. I can comment that out. I'll clean this up in a little bit. In fact, you know what? No. Available is that. I won't comment it out. Also, why am I not just inlining this value? Because I don't use it elsewhere. Okay. Sync GitHub should exist. It's doing a fake thing for the moment. It's doing a real OAuth connection, but it's returning a fake list of things here. So I can get rid of that. And then I can prefix these things again. Boop, boop. I might use a caster on this in future, but for now, I don't want to. For now, I just want to leave it like it is. Select repositories. I'm going to copy this mess into. Select GitHub repositories. This heading can go away. This auth to Bitbucket can go away. That wording can change a little bit. And then these things can also... Oh, wait, weird. Oh, guest, elevated. Okay, fine. What is the wording for this, though? Why am I showing these things twice? Oh, if it's auth, show this UI. Otherwise, just show the connect thing. I mean, these should essentially be an include that I reuse, but I'm not really fussy about that right now. On select GitHub repository. Also, I no longer need to show the source for this. And then let me just go to wizard on select GitHub repository. It stores these things in here, and then I'll do a second thing for Bitbucket. Again, probably not the right capitalization for this, but anyway. Has selected Bitbucket. Now, generally, you don't need to do all of this mess for session stuff for Livewire components. I'm doing it because I want this thing to be quite resilient after refresh, to remember what was found, what was selected. And so I'm storing a lot of it in the session, but that's not generally a requirement for this stuff. Okay, so I have select GitHub, I have select Bitbucket. I need to do, I need to move the Bitbucket stuff over as well. So let's just do it like this. Whew. Oh no, what did I do? Copy that. Put that in there. Okay. Select, no. What did I do? Damn it. I'm getting really in my head now. Okay, so let's prefix this. Let's inline this. We'll prefix this as well. That's GitHub. Oh, yeah, that's right. What a day, hey? What a day. Solar full text search, inspired by my friend Simon in New Zealand. Okay, so that should be the Bitbucket side of things. And then I need to change the wizard component. I'm doing a lot of stuff without refreshing, but it's because I know this thing is going to explode if I if I refresh too early. I know it's going to explode. So selected GitHub repositories, selected Bitbucket repositories. Those currently define the behavior of the add stuff. This stuff here. So currently we're showing this stuff on plans, but we need to move these things over to the right-hand side column of customize plans. I don't have a right-hand side column on here at the moment. But I can do something like div class flex. row, width full, and then do another column, another div in here just for the left hand column. So flex column, width full, MD width 1/2. So by default they stretch to the full width, but then if there's enough horizontal space, then they stretch out again. Okay, I'm going to close this up again, and then I'm going to paste some stuff in, and then I'm going to copy this column, because otherwise I'm not going to have my clipboard data where I want it. Okay. Whee! So that can get indented. This for each can get indented again. I wish I had a nice formatter for this, but oh well. So, files. This has to be all tab-based UI. For the moment, I'll just dump them all in the same thing. So select repositories, and that is selected. This first mount property, selected. Okay. So what I need to do here is say selected GitHub repositories, and I need to name these variables better. Select GitHub repositories with a key of this. I don't really like that that's a JSON encode. I may just use this encode method here and start using that all over the place. GitHub. Okay, and then this will be the Bitbucket repositories. Okay, now these need to get passed down through customized plans, because Livewire components don't pass down global state. So I'm not being very clear. Plans, selected GitHub repositories, selected Bitbucket repositories. I'm prop drilling. If you've used Vue or React, you would have heard the term. You might have heard the term prop drilling. I have to send the props all the way down from the container component where the selected things are stored through customized plans, where you see the plan list on the left, into the component that handles the selection of GitHub repositories and Bitbucket repositories. So I'm prop drilling. I'm probably going to have to format this just so it's a little bit more legible. Current plan is still optional. So now I also have to make these things public. That, and then I have to do this thing again. Ooh-wee. Okay, now I'm not exposing, I'm not casting these things. I wish these things were casted. Why am I passing this stuff down? Let me see if I can get away with just doing that. Okay, so we're storing these things. We should be able to use them in customized plans. I'm not passing them in at the wizard level yet, which I should be doing. So that's over here. Plans, current plan. Over here I need to do selected GitHub repositories, repositories. Those. I'll probably format this a little bit as well so that this is also clear. That is a hectic key, man. And in order to make this thing reactive for all the types, I need to make them all part of the key, which is a bit hectic. So I'm going to have to format this thing as well. This is not, look, this is not an ideal solution. But it is the only way to make deeply nested things really reactive, so that when a new type is selected, this gets re-rendered. When new plans are selected, are available, this gets re-rendered, and so on and so forth. So it's not ideal that I have such a long key, but it is the only way to make deeply nested things reactive currently. Dropping more frames, only slightly. Still looks fine. Something's up with the net speed today. I didn't drop a single frame yesterday. Okay, so customized plans is getting these things. Is that what they're named? Just before I go to the browser, is that what they're named? GitHub repositories. I'm going to change this to selected. Because that more accurately represents what these things are. Okay, it makes these super long variable names, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Okay, now I should flush this. Whee! And now I start to have problems. Undefined variable files. Files. Uploaded files. Again, makes this a little bit more clear. But undefined variable files means I'm not passing the files in at this level either. So uploaded files, which becomes part of the key as well, and gets sent in to customize plans. This will end. The pain will end at some point. Okay. Does it work now? No! Has selected repositories. Okay, I think this is because my debugging info is expecting has selected GitHub repositories. I have this debugging stuff so that I can tell what is being stored all over the place, and I kind of want to keep it up to date. So selected GitHub repositories as repository, JSON encode that is fine, and because I want to be able to see what this data is, has selected Bitbucket repositories. There we go. Let's make this nice and neat. Oh, this debugging info is going to live forever. Okay. So nothing in there yet. Sell your app, go to the next page. I don't think I'm passing files down again. So uploaded files gets passed from wizard into here. It gets stored in here. I want to rename this. Like that. Uploaded files. Let me prefix this while I'm here. Start prefixing all the things. Okay, there we go. But the view actually uses a variable called uploaded over there. Hey, Philippe, thanks for joining. All the way from Switzerland. Hey, good to see you in chat. Uploaded files, uploaded files. I think if I go customize plans, where this thing is included. There we go. Has selected repositories again. Oh, this is the next button. Whew, almost there. I think we're almost there. I definitely think we're almost there. Okay. Customize plans. Wait, where is this being used then? Who gets what? Where is that thing? Where is this button? Oh, it's commented out. That's why I can't see it. Okay. I actually think I can get rid of that commented out stuff now, because I'm nesting this stuff now. That, and I will get rid of... I'll get rid of the repositories thing later. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Let me just fix the formatting of this quickly, and then we'll talk about what's going on. So, this is flex col, and on MD it's flex row. That deals with our... That did not work. What? Okay, that does it in there, but this is just like the left-hand side, which is really weird. Who gets what? What am I doing here that... Oh, I've got the right-hand column in here. Weird. I don't need to do the column management in here. I need to do it in here. Because then each page can manage where it sits in the columns. That makes sense. I think that makes sense. Yes, there we go. What does this look like from the beginning? Flush. Okay, I don't have this this margin on the right hand side here, which I definitely think I should have. So that means I just need to go through quickly and make sure that these are all column layouts. Width full MD width 1/2. Width full MD 1/2 goes into the next one. Div. Which means I need to put the padding in here. Oh, what a pain! This boilerplate's a bit much. Flex col PR8. I think that's the border I had there. Okay, so this pushes. Oh, what are you doing? Bottom. Actually, you know what? I can put this in a flex row div. I'll do that because the stuff should be displayed in column, heading, and then buttons. There we go. Okay, so boop. Oh, that that wraps a bit. I wonder if we want to make this thing hidden and then MD flex. And then we can actually get rid of that width full. No. Just make it width half like that. Okay, so when you make this small enough, boop, 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 boop. Why isn't it booping? Class hidden. See, ideally at like that width, it should go away. Have I got like some kind of... No, I can't blame this on my watcher. Hidden MD flex. Flex all of these things. Oh. So this actually shouldn't be like that. Not that I think that's the problem. Oh, I see. Flex col MD flex row. Oh, I was so sure. How sure was I of that, eh? I actually want to use this form of stretching because it's a little bit more it's a little bit easier to manage. Okay, so that's obviously not working then. Flex col full. But if this is a row, right? Oh, I'm so confused. Oh, I'm so confused. Okay. So I want to hide the right-hand column if it's small. I want to show it if it's medium. I don't have to do any of this because either way, that column is going to be gone on small. I think I know what's going on. Okay, so the way that I'm doing this full height thing, I think it's the way that I'm doing the full height thing. I have these things. Just set the Z index of this. Maybe like 5, and then set the Z index of these things. And I'll have to do relative, so that it shares Z index here, and make this 10. That's what it was. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so this also should be fixed, not absolute, because I never want it to move if the screen scrolls. But this should also be hidden, and on MD flex it, because I want it gone on a small screen. Boop. There we go. So it only shows up on medium. Okay, good. Okay, there's a thing that's fixed. There's a thing that's fixed. And I was getting way too complicated where I was doing this. The container just has to be width full. The left-hand column needs to be a column. So I can actually take this flex row off. I can take this. No, this width half needs to be here. This width half needs to be here on medium. This width half is fine. It doesn't need a responsive qualifier because this is hidden and only shown on medium anyway. So that'll always be applicable. Maybe I should do it just for the sake of making really clear what's going on there. I'll undo that. Okay, so this right-hand column, which will be like a preview thing, will be hidden. We may actually do flex col md flex row, and then just have this as flex col width full. I actually prefer this because maybe I want to show that preview thing underneath. So if I say preview over here, that's on the right hand side, and then I make the small blink, it goes underneath those options. I actually prefer that, if I'm honest. Oof, 8 minutes left. I need to get cracking. What's still on my list? Wow, okay. Okay, I have split the GitHub stuff, I think, but I need to actually fix this design first. So I think it's fine just to say padding right on here and not to flexify that at the moment. So that's fine. That's what I'm going to do there. So this is just padding. Then we've got our heading. We've got flex row, flex wrap for the different options of types. And then the right-hand side, which is going to be the preview, which is not there yet. So that's fine. I can basically copy this entire structure. So if I go to customize plans, I can copy the structure and put it here. Why do I have all this junk here? Okay, first I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to copy this right-hand column. And I'll put this at the bottom here. And then I'll move this stuff into that right-hand column. This must still get some tabs on top of it, but for now it's just going to show them all underneath each other. Then I have this that's no longer necessary. This can be indented, this can be indented. I need another thing to close off here. So the heading is within this, heading and all this other content is within this padding right, and this sits at half again. So now if I go to, oh, it's irritating that my tab index is like that. I go build a mailing list, next. I have the different plans that I can select on the left, and I have the different resources that I can select on the right. Yatta. Okay. Now, I have the select repositories thing twice, so something weird is going on there. Customize plans, select GitHub repositories, select Bitbucket repositories. These things are loading the wrong view. That's what's going on. And because that view still exists, it's not giving an error. See, I copied and pasted this. I didn't update the view. connect to GitHub. Where is the Bitbucket thing? Oh, I didn't copy this stuff. Maybe I should just copy this into here and change all instances to Bitbucket, because that's simpler, I think. I think that's simpler. Connect to Bitbucket. Copy that down here. This should be the right route. Yeah. Everything else looks okay. Also, let's encode this. Let's encode this. And then let's deal with these types in the wizard, where you select a repo. So, select GitHub repo, decode, select Bitbucket repo, decode. Those wouldn't have worked until I changed that. It's really weird. And then upload file, I've got a decode in here. So how do I do this? Because that stuff is happening in JavaScript. If I go to the wizard, check here. If I go to the wizard view, right? There's a lot of JavaScript at the bottom here, and this dispatches the upload when it's done. Where's this happening? Where's this event being dispatched from? Emit. So current name, current type, current size, data. On upload file. That goes to here. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so now I should see these things over here. Connect to GitHub. This does a thing to GitHub, comes back. Error! What? What is this error? Okay, I don't want to resolve this right now. I need to fix something there. But we've split this. We have successfully split this. If I've changed everything that's necessary to change, upload should still work. It does not though. Upload. Use Laravel. No, it's not Laravel even. It's Illuminate support string. HIJKL. Oh, undefined variable files. Sure. Crumbs. Uploaded files. Upload files. Okay. Uploaded files. What is going on then? Has uploaded files. Okay, it's the debugging info. Okay. Makes sense. This makes sense. I didn't upload this or change this yet. Has uploaded files. That's fine. Has uploaded files. Each upload files. Actually uploaded files. There you go. Okay, so this should be in here. Okay, flush this. At least the file upload should be working. Although it's not associating the upload with a specific plan, this should still be working. Which is cool. Super cool. Now I don't have a next button on here, so I need to add in my next button if I have uploaded anything. So, has uploaded files or has selected GitHub repositories or has selected Bitbucket repositories. Okay. So flush that. Ooh, that is overlapping. That is overlapping. Not the end of the world. Upload a file. Now I have a next button, so I can go on to more stuff, which is really cool. Okay, so we've split GitHub, we've split Bitbucket. Which is cool, which means on our to-do list for tomorrow is we still have these things that we want to do and these things that we want to do. But there are some bugs that we picked up. So that assign repo selection is still up here. I don't need to list that again. Fix auth flow. So this is when I click on these links here, then I should be redirected back after being asked for permissions. For some reason that's broken. I think it's related to the URL that I'm using here is not what the OAuth flow expects, so I need to fix that. These also need to be specific to, I don't know if these need to be specific to the plans having been customized, or just we're happy with any file upload, any repo selection means that you have customized one plan at least, and so we can go on to the next one there. I think that's really the key thing. Yeah, I think that's really the key thing. So I'm happy with these things. Hey, Kat. It's good to see you. How are you doing? Hi. Hello. It's good to see you. Okay. I think this is fine. So it's really just that one bug, the GitHub and Bitbucket OAuth flows that I need to fix. Setting screens for plans I didn't get to. These are supposed to be behind tabs. So a GitHub tab, a Bitbucket tab, an uploaded files tab, and a settings thing, which is settings specific to the plans. So I still need to do that. And this association. But I'm really castable. I'm really happy with the stuff that I got done in a little over an hour. So thanks for being in chat. Jason, I hope your load shedding gets better. Philippe, I hope you enjoy the VOD later. And thanks for watching. If you've just been lurking, that's cool too. And I will see you tomorrow again. Same time as I started today. So an hour ago, but tomorrow. When we work on this some more, I think. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.